trans youth. This week I have a topic that I have been staying away for a few weeks. It kind of got a little bit of a sneak peek when Bree talked about it fairly briefly, and it is a very important topic, but it's one that I've been hesitant about until I understand a little bit more about our trans youth audience right now. And that topic is on transgender depression. When it comes to being depressed, when it comes to being transgendered, and when it comes to having all of these things going on in your head all at once that make you feel very alienated, make you feel like you're being tortured, that make you feel like living just isn't something that should go on. This is a really important topic to have, and it's not one I like to have over YouTube. However, I also recognize that as this is YouTube and as this is trans youth, it's very important for us to talk about this topic. I will preface this video, and I certainly hope that every other person here on Trans Youth Channel does the exact same thing. I am saying this is not something that we can treat here on Trans Youth. This is a medical issue, this is a problem, and this is something you should be going to a doctor for. And while I'm on that subject, so is being transsexual. If you want those hormones, if you want to go through this life-altering, changing situation, you need to have a doctor with you, a therapist with you, someone to at least recheck your thoughts. Make sure you're doing this for your own good. If you feel that you might have it, go find a little bit of support. Go find a little help. You can get that at the LGBT community or in your neighborhood with all of your friends, at school, at work, in the area. I'm sure one of them has a sneaking suspicion. Having said that, this comes in 3 parts I want to talk about while being trans. The first part regards your family. It regards the people you're not out to yet and the people you are out to. The second part is the people that are trying to help you. 3 is you. It affects you so profoundly. It can change your life to come out of depression, and it can change your life to come out of this way of gutter thinking, saying that nothing is really worth doing, not getting that motivation, not getting that excitement out of anything, not getting stuck in a rut is an incredibly important part about transition. First, to talk about your friends and family. Your friends and your family, regardless of whether you're out or not, do see a lot more pain than you would initially think that they do. They are concerned with you. So what I would suggest, if you are a friend or family member, is to talk about it. Don't leave it in the dark. Don't try and cheer them up without talking about why you want to cheer them up. Talk about their behaviors and talk about your concern for them. I didn't exactly have depression, but I did have a torturous feeling in the pit of my stomach that I never explained to anyone. And the day I explained something to someone was the day I started feeling better and more motivated about myself. Give them the opportunity to take that step in the easiest, least painful way possible. Next, talking about your professionals. If you've already gone out to talk to a therapist, if you've already talked to an advocate about transition, if you've already talked to anyone at all about your depression, great. Absolutely amazing. But you also need to recognize where these people are coming from. They really want to help you. They really want to do something for you. But in order for them to help you from the outside, they need you to be able to accept their statements and start working on them yourself from the inside. Now we, as professionals, need you to not just see the problem, but be motivated to understand that you need to change the problem. We have so many people on YouTube that are in the closet, very depressed, don't know how to come out, and there have been numerous people who have friended me on Facebook looking for that transition help. And when I attempt to help them, one of the biggest roadblocks I have seen is, I don't know how to do it. Now, I want to stress here that it's not about the instructions, and it's not that these resources are not around. What I have primarily discovered when I started to delve into the research they should have been doing, I have discovered that the majority of the reason is a mental block, brought on by that exact same depression. I remember one specific time where I told someone exactly how to find a therapist. I told them to call 20 therapists that are in their local phone book and ask for recommendations. Once they asked for recommendations and had a list of names, they went down those names, looked at those names, Googled them, looked at what other people had experienced, and then called those therapists, set up meetings in order to kind of get a feel for who they are, and then just start trying therapists. This is a lot of work. Finding a therapist is definitely very hard. I certainly understand that. But I actually had a person who said that they did not know how to find the therapists in the phone book. And this was not a cognitive thing. I think that this was them roadblocking it because they had an iron tether made of cloth rope. So when you come to me, I am expecting you to have the proper motivation necessary to go do something. But depression, which many of us do suffer, is probably one of the most major issues in a transition. So definitely just pay attention to that when you come to see a professional, a therapist, a doctor, or someone who's not necessarily equipped to handle such a situation as someone who's handling depression, such as me or any other advocate. And third, the most important one is you. Number one to depression and understanding depression is understanding that this is not just a normal thing, that this is something that is affecting your brain and is something that can be put aside so you can continue to have a life that you absolutely love. And to be honest, it is probably one of the biggest mental hurts you can probably experience. Schizophrenia, they don't know they're schizophrenic. Various other different types of mental disorders have it a lot less in pain and conscious understanding of your pain than depression does. When people are depressed, they are in pain. And when you recognize that you yourself are in pain and you don't know what to do about it and you can't really tell anyone and you don't know why you're in pain and you can't particularly connect yourself to that one thing that pulls you out of that gutter, the one thing that you can do is recognize you need a bandage and you need it from somewhere else. Because fixing your own depression can potentially happen, but sometimes it's difficult to do. That bandage can be in the form of the previous two topics, the previous two areas. You have your friends and family who are worried for you. You have colleagues, you have workers, you have therapists, doctors, you have advocates, you have people who do want the best for you. And you have that part of yourself that knows this is a problem. I just want to make it clear that this video is not meant to cure your depression. It's meant to motivate you to move that depression forward. Because I feel that when depression stops you, it roadblocks you in transition. A lot of people are there to help you, and you don't typically realize it. I just want you to understand that depression, in and of itself, is a journey you have to walk first. Please, 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 just follow and research and do things and get motivated so that you can get happy and excited about the transition that you can go forward with beforehand. Thanks, guys, and I really do appreciate it. Bye.